Okay, systems of linear equations, unit 1 or unit 5, day 1. So this unit's super short. It's 2 videos and then we're going to test on it, okay? So just so you're aware. We'll do this vocabulary later. So there's 3 types of solutions you can get. You can get no solution, which basically means the lines are parallel. So linear means line, and we're working with linear equations. So if we have 2 lines that are parallel, there's no solution because they never cross, okay? You can get one solution, which you would write as an ordered pair, and that's where they intersect. So they intersect at one point. Or you can have infinitely many solutions, and that's when they're just on the same exact line, okay? So let's just get right into this. So there's 2 methods to solve. You can solve by substitution or elimination. And I'm going to show you both, and you can decide which one you like to do. You can do them both. I use them both. I'm fine with you doing it either way. Okay? First thing you need to do is decide which variable you're going to solve for. So let's look at our 2 equations. We have x plus 3y equals 5, and negative 2x minus 4y equals negative 5. X is the only one that's completely by itself, so I'm going to solve that first equation for x. So then I'm just going to subtract the 3y over. You get x equals negative 3y plus 5. Now I'm going to substitute that into the second equation. So we have an x equals negative 3y plus 5. I'm just going to plug that in where the x is in the second equation. And I have to use the second equation. I can't plug it back into the first equation. Okay, so you get negative 2, parentheses, negative 3y plus 5 minus 4y equals negative 5. And now I'm just going to solve this. So I'm going to distribute in the negative 2. So you get 6y minus 10 minus 4y equals negative 5. Combine like terms. So 6y minus 4y is 2y minus 10 equals negative 5. Add the 10 over. You get 2y equals 5. Divide by 2. And you get y equals 5 halves. And I'm just going to leave that as a fraction, okay? Now, to go back and solve for x, I'm going to plug that into either one of the equations. And I'm just going to choose my equation that is x equals negative 3y plus 5. So I'm going to plug y in for that y up there. So I get x equals negative 3 times 5 halves plus 5. Negative 3 times 5 halves is negative 15 over 2. I'm going to change that. So 5 is the same thing as 10 over 2. So that becomes negative 5 over 2. If that just confused you, you can still just put negative 3 parentheses 5 over 2 plus 5 into your calculator and then push math enter enter and you'll get the same exact thing. Okay? So we have our x, we have our y. Last thing we just need to do is write it as a point. And the point is always x, y. It's always in alphabetical order, so it's going to be negative 5 halves, comma, 5 halves. And that's our final answer there. Okay, let's do another example, or let's do a word problem. So an online music company offers 15 downloads for $19.75 and 40 downloads for $43.50. Each price includes the same one-time registration fee. And we need to figure out the cost of each download and the registration fee. So I'm just going to write sentences about this. So 15 downloads and a registration fee is $19.75. 40 downloads and the same registration fee is $43.50. So I'm going to let D equal my downloads, and I'm going to let R equal the registration fee. So I have 15D, because 15 downloads, plus the registration fee is or equals $19.75. And then 40D plus R equals $43.50. So 40 downloads plus the registration fee equals $43.50. Now I'm just going to solve that first equation for R. So I'm going to subtract the 15D over, and I get R equals negative 15D plus 1975. And then I'm going to plug that R into the second equation. So I get 40D plus negative 15D plus 1975 equals $43.50. And combine like terms, so 40D minus 15D is 25D, plus 1975 equals 43.50. Subtract the 1975 over, so you get 25D equals 23.75. Divide by 25, you get D equals 0.95, or 95 cents. So each download is 95 cents. Now I just need to go back and figure out what the registration fee is. So I'm going to plug that in for D. So I get R equals negative 15 times 0.95 equal or plus 1975. Multiply that out, that's negative 14.25 plus 1975, which is 5.5 or $5.15 or 50 cents. So the registration fee is $5.50. Each download is 95 cents. Okay. Now let's get into solving using the elimination method. So this one's a little bit different, not too much. But first, you always have to make sure it's in standard form. So ax plus by equals c. So you want your x's to line up, you want your y's to line up. And then we need to see which variable can I get rid of. We need it. Do we have any opposites? So like negative 2x and 5x, if I add those together, I'm going to get 3x. So that's not going to help me. But 8y and negative 8y, if I add those together, they're going to cancel out. So I'm going to get rid of my y's. And I'm just going to add these together. So negative 2x plus 5x is 3x. Negative 8 plus 20 is 12. Then I just solve for x. So I'm going to divide by 3. You get x equals 4. Now I just need to go back and solve for y. So I'm going to plug x into one of those two equations above. It doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to pick the first one. So I have negative 2 times 4 plus 8y equals negative 8. That's negative 8 plus 8y equals negative 8. Add the 8 over, you get 8y equals 0. Divide by 8, so y equals 0. Then you just write your answer as an ordered pair. That's going to be 4, 0. And that's your final answer there. Okay, let's do one more. So this one, again, they need to be an ax plus by equals c, which they both are. I need to decide which variable to get rid of. Do I want to get rid of my x's or do I want to get rid of my y's? In this case, let's just get rid of our x's. There's not a super obvious one because if I add these, they're not just going to cancel. So I'm going to get rid of my x's. I have 3x on top. I have to see what do I have to add to 3x so that it will cancel. You have to add negative 3x. So then what do I have to multiply to x to make that negative 3x? Which is negative 3. So I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by negative 3. And I'll get negative 3x minus 6y equals negative 15. And I multiplied it by negative 3 because I had 3x on top. I wanted that bottom to be negative 3x so that when I add these, those x's will cancel. Okay, so I'm going to add those. And the x's cancel, and you're left with negative 7y equals negative 7. And you can divide by negative 7, you get y equals 1. Now I'm just going to go back and I'm going to solve for x. So I have 3x minus 1 equals 8. Add the 1 over, you get 3x equals 9. Divide by 3, that's x equals 3. And I'm just going to write it as an ordered pair. So that's 3, 0. Okay? So please remember to take the quiz, and I will see you guys tomorrow.